Imagine walking into a dark, dense forest 50,000 years ago. You are entirely alone. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the shadows. They look almost exactly like you, but their posture is slightly different. They are holding a sharpened piece of flint. In exactly 3 seconds, you must make a choice that will either preserve your life or end it permanently. Do you run? Do you attack? Or do you smile and offer them a piece of your meat? If you guess wrong, your lineage ends right here, and your bones become a puzzle for future archaeologists. But here is the terrifying truth. Early humans had to make this exact life-or-death gamble multiple times a week, with completely random strangers. Long before the invention of laws, police, or even a shared language, how did our ancestors survive a world where every single interaction was a potential execution? How did a species hardwired for brutal evolutionary selfishness somehow learn to cooperate? The answer isn't what you think, Cand. It involves a biological mystery that is currently sitting right inside your own head. Most history books tell you a comforting lie. They claim that humans succeeded because we are naturally peaceful, cooperative, and built for community. That is completely wrong. Biologically speaking, early humans were terrifyingly hostile, deeply paranoid primates. For over 90% of our history, a stranger wasn't a potential friend, they were a resource thief, a disease carrier, or a direct physical threat. In the brutal game of Pleistocene survival, pure selfishness should have won. Nice guys should have finished last, extinct, and forgotten. Yet, against all laws of evolutionary biology, we didn't just survive, we built civilizations. We constructed cities, created trade networks spanning continents, and eventually put people on the moon. None of that is possible without an incredible, invisible superpower, the ability to look at a complete stranger and decide within milliseconds to trust them. In this video, we are going to tear down everything you think you know about human nature. We will explore the bizarre psychological tricks, the evolutionary mutations, and the dark, gossipy secrets our ancestors used to build the modern world. By the time we are done, you will look at your friends, your coworkers, and even random strangers on the street in a completely different light. Welcome to Exploratics. Let's solve the mystery of trust. To understand how weird trust actually is, we have to look at our closest living relatives, chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are incredibly smart. They use tools, they form political alliances, and they grieve their dead. But if you put two totally unfamiliar groups of chimpanzees in the same forest clearing, they don't introduce themselves. They don't swap foraging tips. They launch a coordinated, incredibly violent border war. For a chimp, stranger equals danger. No exceptions. For a long time, evolutionary biologists assumed early humans behaved exactly the same way. And for a while, the evidence backed this up. Archaeologists have found ancient mass graves from early hunter-gatherer eras, showing clear signs of intergroup violence, skulls crushed by blunt objects, flint arrowheads embedded in ribs. Proven fact, archaeological sites like Nataruk in Kenya prove that organized lethal intergroup violence existed among hunter-gatherers long before agricultural societies developed. So, if early humans were just as tribal and paranoid as chimps, how did we avoid killing each other off entirely? Scientists were stuck on this paradox for decades. If you trust a stranger and they betray you, you die. If you never trust anyone, your small group eventually inbreeds, starves during a drought, or gets wiped out by a larger tribe. It seemed like a mathematical dead end. But then, researchers dug up something completely unexpected in an ancient cave system, something that shouldn't have existed. Deep in the caves of Europe, archaeologists found a collection of beautifully carved beads made from the shells of sea snails. At first glance, it just looks like primitive jewelry. But when geologists analyzed the chemical signature of the shells, their jaws dropped. These Mediterranean seashells were found in a cave located hundreds of miles inland, deep in central Germany. Think about what this means. 40,000 years ago, a human couldn't just walk hundreds of miles across. Europe alone, they would have to pass through dozens of different territories owned by completely different, unrelated tribes. If everyone was just murdering strangers on sight, those shells would have stayed on the beach. Instead, those beads moved. They were passed from hand to hand, tribe to tribe, across hundreds of miles of wilderness. This is concrete proof of an ancient continental trade network. It is a 40,000-year-old receipt, proving that prehistoric humans were somehow doing business with people they didn't know. If you don't speak their language and you don't know their name, how do you negotiate a trade without getting a spear through your chest? Well, leading anthropologists have a fascinating hypothesis. It's called silent trade, and it plays out like a high-stakes game of psychological poker. Imagine tribe leaves a pile of obsidian volcanic glass at a specific rock formation on a borderline. They beat a drum, then retreat back into the bushes out of sight. Tribe B hears the drum, walks out, inspects the obsidian, and leaves a pile of dried fish next to it. They go hide. Tribe A returns. If they think the fish is a fair price, they take the fish and leave the obsidian. If they think it's a ripoff, they leave everything untouched and hide again, waiting for Tribe B to add more fish. It's a beautiful system. No words spoken, zero physical contact, absolute safety. But here's the catch. Silent trade only works for basic items. You can't build a shared culture, share hunting technologies, or form military alliances through silent trade. To do that, you have to look someone in the eye. You have to take a real risk. And that brings us to the most powerful and dangerous social mechanism ever invented by the human brain. When you think of weapons that allowed humans to dominate the planet, you probably think of spears, fire, or bows and arrows. But evolutionary psychologists argue that our most lethal social weapon was actually talking trash behind people's backs. Let's look at the leading scientific theory popularized by researchers like Robin Dunbar. It's called the gossip hypothesis. Before language, primates kept peace within their groups through physical grooming, literally picking bugs out of each other's fur. It releases oxytocin, lowers heart rates, and says, "Hey, I've got your back." But physical grooming has a severe scaling problem. A chimpanzee can only groom 1 or 2 individuals at a time. Because of this time constraint, chimp groups can rarely grow larger than 50 individuals before they break apart due to internal drama. But early humans needed larger groups to survive. We needed groups of 100, 150, or more. If we spent all day grooming each other to maintain trust, we would starve to death. We wouldn't have time to hunt, so language evolved as a form of cheap, hyper-efficient digital grooming. Instead of physically touching you, I can use my mouth to groom 3 or 4 of you at the same time while we walk. But what do we actually talk about? Studies show that even today, roughly 2/3 of human conversation is dedicated to social gossip. Who is sleeping with whom? Who stole the extra berries? Who ran away when the cave bear showed up? In an ancient tribe, reputation was everything. If gossip revealed you were a liar or a freeloader, you suffered the ultimate prehistoric punishment: social exclusion, and, in the Ice Age, being kicked out of the tribe was a literal death sentence. But wait, gossip is amazing for keeping track of people inside your tribe. If Grok steals food, everyone finds out within an hour. But what happens when you meet someone from a completely different tribe? Someone whose reputation isn't in your gossip database? How do you read a stranger when you have absolutely zero background data? The answer is etched directly into the biology of your face. Take a close look at a dog, a cat, or a chimpanzee. Their eyes are usually dark, and the sclere, the white part of the eye, is heavily pigmented or barely visible. Now, look at a human eye. We have massive, bright white sclera surrounding our irises. Why did evolution give us glowing white targets around our pupils? It seems like a terrible design flaw. It makes it incredibly easy for predators or prey to see exactly where we are looking. This is explained by the cooperative eye hypothesis. Scientists believe our eyes evolved this way precisely because it makes it impossible to hide our intentions. If a stranger is looking at you, but their eyes keep darting down toward your weapon, or glancing over toward your food stash, you can see it instantly. From 20 feet away, you can track their exact point of gaze. Our eyes are an involuntary, unhackable broadcast system of our inner thoughts. But it's not just our eyes. Humans are one of the only mammals on Earth that blush. Think about how inconvenient blushing is. If you feel guilty, ashamed, or caught in a lie, your blood vessels dilate, pumping bright red blood straight into your cheeks, announcing your deceit. Why would evolution preserve a trait that completely blows your cover? Because blushing is an evolutionary signal of honesty. It is a biological feature that cannot be faked. It tells the stranger, "I have a conscience. I am capable of feeling shame." Scientific theory. Evolutionary biologists suggest that traits like blushing and white sclera evolved as signaling mechanisms to facilitate high-stakes cooperation among early humans by making deception costly and difficult. So, we have white eyes to show our focus and blushing cheeks to prove our guilt. But even with these biological truth detectors, humans still needed something bigger. We needed a universal cheat code, a way to instantly sync the brains of 2 different groups so they felt like one family. And that brings us to a bizarre ritual that every single one of you has participated in. If you want to make friends with a stranger today, you might grab a coffee, buy them a drink, or talk about the weather. But 30,000 years ago, if two tribes met under a full moon to seal an alliance, they did something that looks to modern eyes completely insane. They stood in a massive circle, beat drums, and danced rhythmically for hours until they sweated through their animal furs. This isn't just primitive entertainment. This is a profound neurological phenomenon known as biobehavioral synchrony. When humans move in perfect unison, whether through synchronized dancing, marching, or rhythmic chanting, something extraordinary happens in the brain. The physical exertion releases massive waves of endorphins and dopamine, but because you are doing it in time with the people around you, your brain undergoes a process called self-other blurring. The neurological boundary between me and them dissolves. Your brain literally tricks you into feeling like the stranger. Dancing next to you is an extension of your own body. Neuroscientists have tested this in modern labs. They took groups of complete strangers and had them either walk in perfect synchronization or walk normally. Afterward, they played economic games where participants could choose to share money or keep it. The results were undeniable. The groups that walked in sync trusted each other significantly more, shared more resources, and were far less likely to cheat each other. Our ancestors didn't have neuroimaging tech, but they figured out the software hack. They realized that if you can dance together, sing together, or share a sacred ritual together, you can trust each other. You create a temporary artificial tribe. But that leaves us with one final, deeply unsettling question. We like to think of trust as a purely beautiful thing. We think of it as the ultimate tool of love, peace, and global unity. But that is only half the story. The real surprise came when historians and sociologists looked at the darkest chapters of human history. The evolutionary mechanisms we developed to trust strangers weren't designed to create a borderless, global utopia. They were designed to make our group bigger and stronger so we could defeat a competing group. Human trust has an inseparable dark twin, intense outgroup hostility. The very same neurological systems that flood your brain with warm, fuzzy feelings of trust when you see someone wearing your favorite sports team's jersey, or someone who shares your political views, can instantly flip if that stranger wears the rival jersey or holds the opposite belief. You're ancient. Pleistocene brain can instantly categorize them as a subhuman threat. We are living in the 21st century, navigating a hyperconnected global internet using a brain that was hardwired in the Stone Age. We don't rely on silent trade or fireside dances anymore. Instead, we trust abstract systems. We trust pieces of green paper called currency. We trust profile pictures with verified checkmarks. We trust digital algorithms to match us with roommates, dates, and business partners. We have scaled trust to a level our ancestors could never have imagined, but the system is fragile. When public trust in institutions, media, and science breaks down, we don't just become cynical. We default right back to our original evolutionary programming. We retreat into small, hyper-paranoid digital tribes screaming at the strangers on the other side of the screen. So, how did ancient humans know who to trust? They didn't, not for sure. Every handshake, every traded shell, and every shared campfire was a terrifying leap into the unknown. They risked everything, over and over again, failing often, but succeeding just enough to forge the chain of human cooperation that led directly to you. The next time you buy a coffee from a stranger, board an airplane filled with people you don't know, or simply walk down a crowded sidewalk without fear, take a second to marvel at what you are doing. You aren't just participating in modern life, you are executing an evolutionary miracle. But it leaves us with one final thought to ponder. In a modern world designed to pull us apart into angry tribes, will our ancient biology allow us to keep trusting each other? Or are we slowly drifting back into the dark forest? If you enjoyed exploring this mystery with us, subscribe to Exploratics. There are countless fascinating stories still waiting to be uncovered. Until next time, stay curious.